Good afternoon to everybody that just joined the webinar. In today's webinar, we will be more focusing on buying and selling of shares and also how to set up a SMS alert. So first of all, as you can see right in front of me currently, I am on the login page. So first of all, I need to log in. Then automatically it will throw me out on the investment dashboard. So on the investment dashboard is where I will see the accounts that I have as well as my investment summary. In other words, I can see what's going on in my account there. Okay. So to buy a share, we're going to go to analysis, stocks, and then we just wait for it to open. So as you can see on the screen so long, there's a my stocks and watch list. There's a share filter and an additional advisor. So in the previous sessions that we did on the webinars, the Sharetrackin Basic 2s, we do explain the share filter and the additional advisor quite in detail for you guys. Let's say I already worked through the share filter and additional advisor. I will then go to my stocks and watch list. We also show you on the Sharetrackin Basic 2 how to set up a watch list. Now I can go through my watch list and select any share that I want to buy. So from the watch list, I can go and there's a little information button. I can click on that information button to view more details of a specific company. Let's use SSW as an example. So I'm going to click on that info button. Automatically it pops up the security detail window. We also do go through this security detail window on Sharetrackin Basic 2, but let me just run through this with you guys. So first up, I have Sibanye Stillwater Limited. That is the company's name. Next up, I have the company's code, which is SSW. Then I have a brief description of what the company is doing. When I go further down, I will get the industry this company is in, the sector, as well as the telephone number if that's available, with your fax number and your email address. You also have their residential address and when their year ends. And if they do have a website, we will display the website here. Next up, we have director dealings. So we can see what the director is doing in this company. We have the dividends. So here I can see when they pay out dividends, when last they pay out dividends, and how much that they pay out. The financials, so I can see their ratios, their income statements, their balance sheets, and their cash flow. The market news. So on the market news, you will see all the news on the market related to Sibanye Stillwater. Then I have details. So here I can view more details of the company. And also I can view the history of the company. So let's just wait for this to finish loading. And then we'll just go to our charts. I'll explain a few things on the charts. And then we'll go to the buying process quickly. So right now we're just waiting for the program to finish loading. Okay, I just refreshed it so that it can load quicker. That's it. Let's go back to SSW. Now let's go to our charting. So I'm going to click on Charts IQ. On my charting, I will see how this company has been performing since the day it was listed. So if I go back and I want to view more data of this company, I'm going to click on that minus button. So I'm going to click on it, and automatically you will see that it's busy zooming out so that I can see how this company is performing over a long term. In other words, I want to see whether this is going to be a good share to keep on the long term as well. Because remember, we don't want to buy into a share when it is in a downward trend. For the simple reason that if you buy a share and it's on a downward trend, you are more likely to lose money than you are gaining money, especially if you want to go long term. Let's zoom in again. Okay. Currently today, I can see my moving average is going up. It has a red candle, which means that we shouldn't really buy today. Okay. Your RSI is indicating that it may still drop, and your stochastic did make a cross again. So the excellent buying point would be somewhere there, the 28th or the 29th of September. That is more or less a good buying point. Now I've viewed my charting. I saw, okay, this can be a share that I want to buy. Okay. For this session, we are going to use SSW as a share that we want to buy and set our stop losses on. Now I'm going to close my charting. It brings me back to this window. Now I want to go and click on buy shares. So first of all, I have select an account. On select an account, your default will always be your simulation. If you have more than one account like I do, then you can go and select that specific account. So let's buy this one in the Karel account. Then I get the share code and the company's name. I get the last price. So the last price is the current price of this share. That is the price that you will be buying at. Then you have your date. That date will show on your transaction history. That is to see when exactly did you buy the share. Max you can afford to buy. So that is the money that we still have left in our account to buy shares with. So in my account, I still have 86,348 Rand and 13 cents. Number of shares to trade. There you will supply an amount of the shares that you want to buy, but keeping in mind that we want to keep our break-even point below 4%. The reason for that is, if I go and buy one share, my break-even point is at 493.01%. That means that I must show a growth of 493.01% just in order for me to make my money back. Now remember that we have brokerage costs. We can also call it transaction fees that we need to pay in order to buy that share. So the more shares you buy, the less that brokerage fee will affect you. The less you buy, the longer you are going to wait to turn a profit. So let's play around and see where we end up. Let's say I'm going to buy 120 shares. 120 shares brings my break-even point to 4.36%. In other words, that is more or less the percentage I will start in the minus with. And that point there is what I must make up just to get my transaction fees back. But you see, the more I type in, the less my break-even point will. So let's try 130. We see that's not quite there yet. Let's try 133. Brings my break-even point to a 3.96%. That's more where we want this share. You will also note that the word break-even point turns red when it's above 4% and turns green when it's below 4%. Now, a very important thing as well when buying on the Sharetrackin in Compass, the comment. You must supply a reason for buying this share. You cannot just type in the quantity of shares and select your account and say confirm buy. The comment that you need to insert is, let's say for instance, you buy the share and 3 months down the line you made a lot of other transactions and you forgot why you bought SSW on the 6th of October 2020. That will then display there why you bought that share. We must fill in at least 2 reasons, and that reason can either be technical, meaning you're charting, what did you see on your chart? Or it can be fundamental. Was it something in the market news? Was it something of the director's dealings? Did you buy in because of the dividends that they are paying out? Must be 2 reasons, either technical or fundamental. So I want to go and do a technical reason because I went and looked at my charts and I saw that, again, an example, this is the correct buying time. Now, underneath my comment, then I will insert something like my RSI and my stock is below, let's say, 20. Or I can say my RSI and stock shows buy, meaning you did go and look at your graphs. You did see that both the RSI and stochastic is below the 20 mark. Your stochastic did cross and started moving upwards, and your RSI is also moving upwards. Now I can go for the second reason. So that was just the first reason. The second reason is I'm buying this share because it's in a bull trend. So we have 2 types of trends in the market. We have a bull trend and we have a bear trend. Now, keep in mind that a bull trend refers to an upwards trend in the market, whereas a bear trend refers to a downwards trend in the market. And that is my reason for buying in. Now I can go and say confirm buy. My total cost I will see is 6,306 Rand and 39 cents. Now I say confirm buy. This window pops up on the left hand corner at the bottom. Buy order confirmed SSW. Now I know I bought this share. I say close. Now I go to dashboard, investment dashboard, because I want to go and set up my stop loss now. Now I go to the Karel account. So I click on the account, it will load. And when I scroll down, there's the investment summary for Karel. Now I see there's SSW. Okay, I can see my break-even point that shift a little to 4.14. Okay, the overall percentage or the overall move is in rands. So I am already in a loss of 265 Rand and 59 cents. Today's move was 11 cents down. The current value is 6,155 Rand and 24 cents. The current price is 46 Rand 28. The total cost, what I spent on buying 133 shares plus brokerage, was 6,420 Rand and 83 cents. My unit cost, so for one share, I paid 48 Rand and 28 cents. Now the question will pop up. Why is my current price and my unit cost not the same? Remember, we spoke about the brokerage fees that we need to pay. In other words, on the unit cost, it's what you paid for that share plus brokerage included. That gives you your unit cost. Your current price is just the current value of one share of SSW. The quantity, how much shares did I buy, and the code, what did I buy? Right here on the right hand side, there's an action button. I click on action. It opens up this investment option window. Now I can see here, I can say close window, set stop loss, sell, buy, and graph. Let's go to set stop loss. If I click on set stop loss, it will open up the set values. So here is where I insert my target value, my stop loss, and my growth stop loss. First up is my target value. Your target value will say to you, how much do you want the share to grow positive before receiving an SMS telling you you've reached your target value? In other words, if I set it at 10%, when the share has grown positive by 10%, you will get a notification telling you you have reached your target value. From there on, that is your choice, whether you want to go and sell that share or whether you still want to hold on to that share. Your growth stop loss, your normal stop loss, we'll get to the growth stop loss later. Your stop loss is when the share goes negative and I already lost, let's say 5%. I will receive an SMS telling me I have reached my stop loss. In other words, you've already lost 5% of your investment that you made. When looking at the Guru's webinars, we will note that his stop loss is usually anywhere, depending on the share, anywhere between a 6 to 8 or 8 to 10 stop loss. So I can go and click on stop loss and change it to 8, because I went and watched the webinar and the guru said 8% is the ideal stop loss, or 8 to 10%, or whatever the case may be. I can go and put it at a 10% stop loss. Now let's get to the gross stop loss. Your gross stop loss then works as follows. Your gross stop loss follows this share's price. And as your share keeps on growing, your stop loss follows it. But as soon as that share starts dropping, and it dropped by 3% or 5%, you will receive an SMS telling you you have reached your growth stop loss. Now let's use the target value as an example. So on my target value, this is 10%. Now this share has grown positive by 10%, and my growth stop loss is, let's say, at 3%. This share grew by 10% and now it's busy dropping. So now my target value, now my growth that I made is becoming less. When I've reached 7%, I will receive an SMS telling me I have reached my gross stop loss. This enables you to still walk away with a profit, then receiving an SMS telling you you have reached your stop loss and your shares dropped by 15%. Then I insert my cell phone number there. And I say activate intraday SMS. This usually depends on client to client. I usually recommend putting on the intraday SMS alert so that you can be notified during the course of the day what your shares are doing. When you switch off the intraday SMS alert, you only receive an SMS once, and that's at night. And then you can see how your shares perform during the day. So if you are a person that's on the road a lot, or if you are a person that doesn't have the time during the day to watch the shares, you can switch on the intraday SMS alert. You get your SMS, you see you've reached a stop loss or a gross stop loss, then you can go and take action on that. I spoke to a client earlier that said they're farmers, and when they are in the fields, they receive their intraday SMS alert notifying them. They quickly stop, work on the shares, and then continue. So that can benefit you. Then, in order to activate my stop loss or my SMS alert, I go update values. It throws out two windows to tell you this has been activated. Now we'll start receiving SMSs on this share. And so you can go on and do this for each share in your portfolio. When you receive your SMS, it will say SMS notification, give the company's code, tell you what that company is doing currently. Whether you are making a profit, a loss, you will get notified on that share's movement. Let's go and look for a share that's in a negative. I saw there's one on my simulation account. Let's use SSW again. So there's my SSW. I can see I made an 11.51% loss on that share. Now I want to go and sell that share. Why do I want to sell that share? Because I've received my SMS notifying me that I've reached my stop loss. Now, again, we must click on action, and then you are going to click on sell. Automatically, it will pop up the error if you saw it on the bottom left side of the screen, telling you please supply a comment. On the investment option to sell, I get the account, the company's code, the company's name, the break-even price. In other words, that is the price I want to reach to just make my money back. The current price, the date that I'm selling on, number of shares to sell. Now, in that block, you will see it says you own 130 shares. Now, please do remember to fill in 130 there. That's in my case. If you've bought 50, it will say you own 50 shares. Don't go and insert a greater amount than what is being displayed in that block. Because look now what happens. If I type in 131, it gives me these two errors. Sell exceed available share quantity, valid number of shares required. Because I don't have 131 shares, I only have 130 shares. Now, again, it's asking me for a comment. Guys, please do remember, you will not be able to buy and sell without supplying reasons. I go to comment. Again, this is for you to know why you sold the share, and if you have any questions regarding your share not making a profit, we can get half an understanding of why you bought that share. That's the reasons for the comments. And we can see why you sold that share. Maybe you sold that share too early, even though you've reached your stop loss. Maybe you have sold your share too early, and now you're phoning in, you go, why am I missing out on this profit? We can go and have a look underneath your transaction history, and we can see why you sold the share. And then we can go back and we can tell you, okay, sir, you sold your share because your comment says you have reached your stop loss. And then you will remember, oh yes, I did sell it because I've reached my stop loss. Now, on the comment section, I will insert something like stop loss reached. Okay. Number of shares to sell, comments has been inserted. It gives me the brokerage fees that I'm going to pay. Again, you don't just pay brokerage or transaction fees when buying a share only. You pay it on both ends. So when you buy the share and when you sell the share, you pay brokerage or transaction fees. Then you can see whether you are making a profit or a loss on this specific company. So I can see that I'm making a loss of 898 Rand and 33 cents. I go, okay, I'm happy with that. And I go sell again. I get my sell order confirmed. The wheel starts turning. I go close window after the wheel starts turning. If I scroll down to simulation, that share is gone. And that was this session for today, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask it to me now. The people who is going to leave now, enjoy the rest of your day, guys.